Welcome back to XRP On Moon, the channel where we uncover the signals most people miss and break down what's really happening with XRP before the crowd catches on. Today's update is not just another routine analysis. This is something rare, something that doesn't appear often. And when it does, it tends to precede major moves. XRP has just flashed a rare buy signal. And if you're serious about understanding where this market could head next, you need to pay very close attention to what's unfolding right now. Here's the reality. Most investors only react after the move has already happened. They wait for headlines, hype, or confirmation. By the time everything looks safe, the opportunity is usually gone. The real advantage in markets like crypto comes from spotting early signals, subtle shifts that indicate something is changing beneath the surface. And right now, XRP is giving off one of those signals. Over the past few days, XRP has been trading in a relatively quiet range. No explosive moves, no major breakout headlines, nothing to grab the average investor's attention. And that's exactly why this moment matters. Historically, some of the biggest moves in XRP didn't start during hype, they started during silence. During periods where the market looked boring, slow, and directionless. This is what professionals call a consolidation phase, a period where price stabilizes, volatility decreases, and the market essentially resets before its next move. Within these quiet phases, something important often happens. Smart money, the big players, institutions, and experienced traders begin positioning themselves. They accumulate quietly without drawing attention, while retail investors either lose interest or move on to other opportunities. Right in the middle of this calm environment, XRP has triggered a rare combination of technical signals. Momentum is starting to shift, selling pressure is weakening, and early signs of buying strength are appearing. On their own, these signals might not seem extraordinary, but when they appear together, especially during a low attention phase, they become far more significant. What makes this even more compelling is where this signal has appeared. XRP is currently sitting near a key support level, a zone where price has historically found strong buying interest. This tells us that buyers are not only stepping in, but they are doing it at a level that has proven important in the past. When you combine a strong support zone with a rare buy signal, it creates a setup that experienced market participants pay close attention to. Timing is critical. The broader crypto market is still in a phase of uncertainty. Some assets are moving, others are lagging, and sentiment is mixed. This environment often creates opportunities because it prevents the market from moving in one obvious direction. Instead, individual assets like XRP can quietly form their own setups without attracting much attention. While most people are distracted, XRP is quietly building something in the background, a structure that doesn't look exciting at first glance, but can lead to powerful moves once momentum kicks in. By the time that momentum becomes obvious, the early opportunity may already be behind us. This isn't just about technical indicators. Signals like this often reflect deeper shifts in market behavior, changes in liquidity, positioning, and sentiment, which tend to show up on the chart before they become visible in headlines or social media discussions. In other words, the chart is telling a story, and right now that story is starting to change. However, it's important to stay grounded. A rare buy signal does not guarantee an immediate breakout. Markets don't move in straight lines, and even the strongest setups can take time to play out. Fakeouts, delays, or staged moves are always possible. Understanding context is everything. Without context, a signal is just a signal. With context, what is including market structure, sentiment, and behavior, it becomes a powerful early warning of a shift that most people haven't recognized yet. XRP is giving us that warning right now. The question is, what happens next? Is this the beginning of a larger move or just a temporary setup before more sideways action? Is smart money truly accumulating, or is the market setting up a trap to shake out impatient traders? Now let's dig deeper, because this rare buy signal on XRP isn't just about what we see on the chart, it's about what's happening behind the scenes. And when we analyze that layer, the situation becomes far more strategic and revealing. First, it's important to understand that rare buy signals don't guarantee instant results. Markets rarely move in straight lines, and even the strongest setups can take time to play out. These signals are often early positioning alerts. They indicate that a shift is occurring, not that the move has already begun. For those who understand this, it can be an opportunity to act ahead of the crowd rather than chasing the trend after it has formed. Right now, XRP is in what professionals call a compression phase. Price is tightening, volatility is decreasing, and liquidity is quietly accumulating. Think of it like a spring being compressed. Those tree. The longer it stays under pressure, the more energy it stores for an eventual release. When the conditions are right, that release can be sudden and dramatic. Historically, we've seen this pattern play out multiple times across XRP charts, and the results have often been significant. What's different this time is the rare alignment of technical indicators with market behavior, which increases the likelihood that this move could be meaningful. What makes this scenario even more compelling is the subtle shift in volume patterns. It's not a massive spike that screams retail hype. Instead, it's measured, consistent, and deliberate, the hallmark of institutional or smart money activity. Large players rarely accumulate positions during volatile hype. They prefer quiet markets when attention is elsewhere. And that's exactly what's happening with XRP right now. This combination, a rare buy signal, consolidation near strong support, and steady accumulation, is the kind of setup that can precede a powerful move, yet remains largely invisible to most investors. At the same time, broader market sentiment plays a crucial role. Many retail investors are distracted by other altcoins, waiting for confirmation, or simply disengaged due to the recent lack of explosive moves. When the majority is uncertain or passive, the few with conviction gain a strategic advantage. This is why early signals like these are so valuable. They allow those paying attention to position themselves ahead of a potential surge before the rest of the market reacts. The timing of entry can make a significant difference in results, especially in a market as volatile as crypto. However, it's important to note that not every setup plays out as expected. Even rare signals can produce fakeouts, short-term moves that tempt traders to enter prematurely before reversing. This is why understanding the context is critical. A rare buy signal is not just a technical pattern, it reflects deeper market psychology, positioning, and liquidity shifts. Those who recognize this can interpret the signal correctly, while those who act blindly risk being caught on the wrong side. So, what does this mean for XRP holders and potential buyers? It means vigilance and strategic thinking are essential. Watching for confirmation of buying momentum, monitoring volume changes, and understanding market sentiment can help differentiate between a genuine move and a temporary fluctuation. Historically, early positioning during these phases has led to outsized gains, but it requires patience and careful observation. The opportunity is real, but it is also fragile. The market can shift in an instant, and timing matters. To fully grasp the significance of this rare buy signal, we need to look at XRP's history, the times when similar setups appeared and the moves that followed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but historical patterns often reveal behavior that tends to repeat under similar conditions. XRP has a track record of forming consolidation phases followed by explosive rallies. These phases often appear unremarkable at first, almost boring, but they quietly set the stage for big moves that catch most retail investors off guard. Understanding these past occurrences can help us interpret the signal we're seeing today and assess its potential impact. In previous instances where XRP flashed comparable signals, the market displayed several key characteristics. First, price typically lingered near strong support zones, testing them multiple times without breaking lower. This created a foundation of stability and confidence for larger buyers. Second, these periods were accompanied by steady, calculated accumulation rather than frantic buying, a sign that experienced investors were entering strategically rather than reacting emotionally. And third, when the breakout eventually came, it often moved quickly and decisively, sometimes surpassing initial targets because momentum built rapidly once retail attention returned. One of the most telling examples occurred in 2021, during a phase when XRP was consolidating quietly after a significant market correction. Technical indicators aligned in a similar way. Ortsorgi, Weektor, Endorsai, Wichi, Weepersai, Wichi, oversold conditions, weakening selling pressure, and subtle momentum reversal signals. At the time, most investors were disengaged, thinking the market had plateaued. However, institutional accumulation was happening behind the scenes. Within a matter of weeks, XRP surged substantially, rewarding those who recognized the setup early. That pattern mirrors what we're seeing now, suggesting that the market may be preparing for a comparable phase of upward movement. But it's not just about the charts. Historical patterns also highlight the psychological dynamics at play. During past setups, retail sentiment tended to oscillate between doubt and apathy. Many investors questioned whether XRP could regain strength, while others waited for confirmation of a breakout before entering. Meanwhile, those paying attention to the early signals were quietly positioning themselves to take advantage of the eventual surge. This behavior tends to amplify momentum. Once the breakout occurs, latecomers rush in, further accelerating the price movement. Recognizing this psychology can give investors an edge in timing their actions more effectively. Another lesson from historical examples is the importance of patience. Even during rare buy signals, markets can experience short-term retracements or periods of sideways movement. These fluctuations are natural and often serve to shake out weaker hands, leaving the market better positioned for the next leg of growth. Early entrants who understand this dynamic tend to benefit from both the initial surge and subsequent moves that follow as momentum builds. In contrast, traders who panic during minor pullbacks often miss the larger opportunity entirely. Today, as XRP flashes this rare buy signal, the market conditions show remarkable parallels to these historical patterns. The quiet consolidation, the subtle accumulation, the alignment of technical indicators all point to a potential setup that deserves attention. While nothing is guaranteed, the lessons from the past suggest that when XRP aligns multiple rare signals with supportive market structure, the probability of a significant move increases substantially. It's crucial to understand what to watch for in real time, the signals and patterns that will indicate whether this rare buy signal is turning into a full-fledged breakout. XRP is currently positioned in a delicate balance: consolidation near a critical support zone, subtle accumulation by larger players, and momentum indicators slowly shifting from bearish to neutral. The coming days will reveal whether these elements align to push price upward or whether we see a temporary retracement. The key is to watch how the market behaves at these pivotal levels, because the difference between a minor pullback and the start of a major move can often be determined in a matter of hours. Volume patterns will be one of the most telling indicators. A sudden increase in buying volume, especially during periods of relative market calm, can signal that smart money is executing strategic entry. This type of controlled but significant inflow often precedes accelerated moves as momentum builds quietly before retail attention floods back into the market. Conversely, if volume remains weak or uneven, it could indicate hesitation and a potential delay in the breakout. Observing these subtle shifts can help differentiate between a temporary signal and a meaningful trend. Price behavior around support and resistance zones will also be critical. XRP has shown strong historical reactions to certain support levels, and the current consolidation is taking place near one of those key zones. If buyers defend this area and price starts forming higher lows, it could confirm the early accumulation signal and indicate readiness for a breakout. On the other hand, a failure to hold support could temporarily invalidate the setup, triggering short-term volatility and shakeouts for weaker hands. The market's response to these levels will provide crucial insight into the strength of the ongoing signal. Momentum indicators provide another layer of analysis. Early signs of upward momentum, even subtle, suggest that market forces are aligning for a potential surge. Traders and holders should pay close attention to these signals in conjunction with volume and price structure. A coordinated alignment, resinating cherfenre and itsem di chertain, rising momentum, increasing volume, and strong support holding. Lysenik chertum chertrisem and iksan incher is often the precursor to rapid moves. These are the moments when early positioning pays off, while those who react too late risk missing the initial surge. Sentiment also plays a role, though it's often less obvious. During previous periods where rare buy signals appeared, retail sentiment was generally cautious or distracted. This created an environment where informed players could position quietly before the crowd reacted. Observing market chatter, social sentiment, and news flow alongside technical indicators can provide a more complete picture. If the majority remains skeptical while the technical and volume signals align, it often signals an opportune moment for early participation. Finally, timing and patience are essential. Rare buy signals don't always result in immediate gains, and even when the move begins, it can unfold in stages. Minor retracements or sideways periods may occur, and understanding that these are often part of a healthy trend can prevent impulsive decisions. By monitoring volume, price action, momentum, and sentiment together, you can assess whether the current setup is developing into the expected breakout or requires additional time to mature. Oday's breakdown, it's important to bring everything together and understand what this rare buy signal on XRP truly represents. Over the past sections, we've analyzed the alignment of technical indicators, the subtle accumulation patterns, historical precedents, and the market psychology that often surrounds these moments. The recurring theme is clear. XRP is currently in a setup that, while quiet and easily overlooked by most, has historically preceded strong market moves. This is why paying attention to early signals can be so valuable. There is they allow investors to position strategically before momentum builds and widespread attention returns. Looking at the historical data, the patterns that mirror today's signal show that consolidation near key support levels, coupled with steady accumulation and rising momentum, often results in meaningful price action. When this combination aligns, even small changes in volume or sentiment can act as a catalyst for larger moves. The key takeaway is that XRP is showing all the early signs that suggest potential upside, but timing and context matter. It's not just about the signal itself, it's about how the market responds in the coming days, how support levels hold, and whether momentum indicators confirm the setup. For those holding XRP, this moment is both exciting and demanding of patience. The market could reward early positioning with significant gains, but it may also require endurance through short-term fluctuations. Minor retracements are common during rare buy signal setups, and they are often part of the natural rhythm of a healthy market move. Understanding that these movements are normal can prevent premature exits and help maintain perspective as momentum builds. For potential buyers, observing key price levels, volume patterns, and market sentiment in real time will be essential in determining optimal entry points. It's also worth noting that while rare buy signals can indicate potential opportunity, no setup is guaranteed. Even when all factors align, the market is subject to unpredictable external influences. Broader crypto trends, global economic news, or sudden liquidity shifts can all impact outcomes. Therefore, while XRP's current alignment is compelling, it's critical to combine analysis with disciplined risk management. Planning your positions, setting stop-loss levels, and maintaining awareness of exposure are all essential components of navigating these volatile markets effectively. XRP's rare buy signal represents a moment of opportunity, but one that requires careful attention and strategic thinking. The signs of accumulation, momentum, and support are all present, and history shows that similar setups have preceded notable moves. However, the market can be unpredictable, and patience, discipline, and observation are crucial for capitalizing on such setups. By understanding both the technical and psychological elements at play, holders and potential buyers can better position themselves to respond intelligently as the market develops. The content in this video is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice. Cryptocurrency investments are highly volatile and involve significant risk. Always conduct your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. You are responsible for your own investment decisions and any gains or losses that result from trading or holding cryptocurrencies. With that said, the rare buy signal in XRP is worth monitoring closely. Whether it develops into a breakout or not, understanding these setups and the dynamics behind them will strengthen your market insight and help you make more informed decisions moving forward. Stay observant, stay patient, and continue to watch how the market unfolds, because in crypto, the early signal often becomes the defining move.